This episode is brought to you by Simply Eloped. Because wedding planning can feel like too much, Simply Eloped makes it easy and keeps it deeply human. They've planned over 14,000 personalized ceremonies in 37 stunning U.S. destinations, coordinating every detail with real care. Okay, some other destinations. New Orleans. Duh. Big brass band. Highly recommend. Did that at my wedding. Why not go to the heart of where you can find the best brass bands? Big Sur. Ooh. Windswept wedding photos off the Pacific. This one, though, this is definitely my jam. Sedona, Arizona. The new age capital of the known universe. Perfect place to get married if you're a little witchy like myself. You just bring your marriage license, and they take care of the rest. Your love deserves simplicity. Visit simplyeloped.com. That's simplyeloped.com. Today on CityCast Denver. Protests against surveillance giant Palantir are picking up. Is Governor Polis having second thoughts about the company coming to Denver? Then, live music venue Your Mom's House was seized for unpaid taxes, and the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce continues to be under scrutiny for a toxic workplace. Me and producer Paul Crowley and a special guest are digging into the big stories of this holiday week. Oh, and just a note, no new episodes will come your way until the new year, but we've got some fun stuff planned for you next week, so stay tuned. Today is Tuesday, December 23rd. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Producer Paul Crowley, hello.
Hey, Bree.
And Westward editor Patty Calhoun, hi.
Hi, it's great being in your studio instead of at the Westward Lindy Zimmer room.
Yes, we're in the Dude IDK studios in beautiful Five Points for this Tuesday roundup that we're sort of treating as a Friday. It's really whatever we want it to be, actually.
Weird holiday week. We're kind of stumbling into Christmas.
Yes.
I love it.
In 73 degrees, we're stumbling into Christmas.
It's bumming me out. All the Christmas decorations, there's no snow around them outside. It's hard.
It's like a blight Christmas.
I know. It makes me really sad. You know, before we get started, Patty, I was driving down Sheridan last night, and I saw our friend Dog the Bounty Hunter store.
Finally is it still open?
Gone. So It's been closed for a long time, but it was just like there, you know, kind of just hanging out. It's now a spray tan place. So
he could use it.
You know, this is the famous TV is famous.
Dog the Bounty Hunter
has a Denver
Patty's his
connection.
homie.
He does have a big Denver connection. The late Mrs. Dog the Bounty
Beth,
Hunter.
Rest in peace.
Beth was a private investigator here. I know we worked with her on a couple of different stories pre-dog. He was trying to get a pardon for an early bit of misbehavior robbery thing when he was a juvie, but was unsuccessful in that.
Yeah, I remember that's always kind of been part of the linchpin of his story is like, I was a criminal once and now I'm the good guy.
Now I just go get them.
Kind of thing.
But I think he got remarried to someone from Castle Rock, maybe?
Oh, he did.
I don't know if he
never
spends any
strays
time
far
here.
from Colorado because Beth was born and raised here too.
Right.
She was a real Colorado gal. Well, none of us will
Do
probably be
people
visiting.
know this reference still?
Dog the Bounty Hunter? Sure.
Yeah, I feel like
because
this show was like 15 years ago. This was the thing.
they were still doing shows a couple years ago. And I still see references
and
to
Leland
Dog the
gets
Bounty
in trouble
Hunter.
every once in a while, his son, I feel like.
Let's face it, we don't have that many celebrities.
Thank
we
you,
have
Patty.
John Elway.
We can do better than Dog the Bounty Hunter.
You know what? You
Oh,
say that
Bowen
till you
Yang.
watch the show.
See,
Bowen
Bowen
Yang,
Yang,
who's
now we're talking.
Yeah, but he
Amy
just left
Adams,
SNL, yeah.
Jessica Biel, you know.
I would give Bowen Yang the best.
Celebrity of the year?
And, you know, he gave a really not of the year here because he's in New York.
But he just finished out at SNL, right?
He did a really interesting story. I think it was for The New Yorker a couple of years ago. He came out gay when he was living in Aurora. His parents made him do conversion therapy
in
Colorado Springs, and he wrote about that.
Oh, I'll have to read that.
Or I should say he talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Really
That
interesting.
sounds fascinating.
Yes,
Oof.
it didn't work. Let's just say that.
I was going to say he survived and I'm sure.
And he's still funny.
Yes. Well, oh my gosh, that's wild. Well, that's the roundup of all our
Such a
celebrities
talented
here
dude.
total.
That is it, I
Here's
think.
all we
Is
have.
there we didn't pick a celebrity of the year, Denver Celeb of the Year.
Well, within Denver?
Yeah.
Well, last year we had the person to watch was Danielle Jurinsky.
And look how
She
that
was on
turned
our
out.
cover. We watched her. We watched out for her, and she's gone. So I take
Still
that
watching,
as
looking
big
over our
success.
shoulders.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know who would it be for you this year then, Paul?
Sparkle Megan,
Sparkle Megan.
Bruce Brown.
Oh, Brucey B
I
being
had
back in
someone
Denver.
at the Denverist Denver Awards the other night being like, Bruce Brown, why didn't we talk about Bruce Brown at the awards? Why doesn't he get an award? Why didn't he come to the award?
We also talked about trying to get a Nuggets player or Rocky or something, but there was a game that night. So it's not without thinking about it.
So athletes, definitely, I would say, if you're looking at people over the last year, Chris Wright, who became
Energy Secretary.
the Energy Secretary, right.
And as you see what is happening in the environment and energy, that is a Coloradan who is someone to watch the new year and has definitely been a big person this year. Who'd think we were still talking about Tina Peters?
That's true.
She has come back in a big way.
Wait for the jailbreak. It's supposed to happen on the 31st of January.
Recently. Well, if you have a Denver celebrity we're forgetting, tell us 720-500-5418 on the who is Denver's biggest celebrity hotline of the year, of ever, maybe. I feel like of ever it's probably Elway, but I don't know. That's just me. Well, let's talk about some news. Where do we want to start? Should we start with Palantir? There was a protest in Cherry Creek last week, I believe, outside the headquarters.
This past Sunday.
Oh, it was this past
Yesterday.
Sunday?
I was there.
You were there? Okay,
I was there.
Tell us what happened.
Well, I was there for about 30 minutes because I wanted to get there, and then I was going to the Broncos game. And the protest was going like all afternoon. So I only saw the beginning.
Right.
I mean, I was there. And there was probably like 40 people there,
Okay.
A couple of local activist groups. There's this one particular activist group that's been very, very engaged on Palantir. I talked to the person who was running it, who had been organizing for months now against Palantir, about how they have been putting pressure on the downtown building where the Tabor Center, where the Palantir headquarters
had been.
Still technically, I think it still is where they are where the offices are. People are going into work because the activists were like, Palantir's not moving into this new office in Cherry Creek until I think April or March or April is the plan.
Because they're renovating probably the floors or something.
I don't actually think so. I think they're moving into a WeWork space.
Oh.
So I don't know if they're actually using that much office space, oddly, for how big of a company it is.
Yeah.
It must be mostly remote.
Sure.
Remote monasteries.
Remote monasteries.
In a remote monastery.
That's the other thing we learned recently about Palantir is CEO Alex Karp just paid over $100 million, I think, for a whole monastery to turn into a private residence near Snowmass.
And hundreds of acres of Colorado
$120
land.
million. And of course, now that makes him a Coloradan, which he hadn't been before. He lived in New York and I think New Hampshire. Really interesting that he's the one who bought it. The good news is that means it won't be subdivided. The bad news is we're assuming it will have a lot of chain link fences around it, or secret electric fences where they can also steal all your data as you go by.
That guy's paranoia. I feel like was it the Times did the Daily did an interview with him, and it was like he had bodyguards following him, and like he seems very
the quotes were like, paranoid. It would be irresponsible for me not to have bodyguards because if I was a foreign government, I would be spying on me. It's all PR with these Palantir guys. Like, the whole like scariness of it is a tactical choice they're making to create a perception of themselves being very powerful and mysterious and entrenched deeply with the U.S. government. This is how they sell their product.
And in fact, they are. And they now are making racking in money. Unbelievable how many accounts they're getting working on special projects for ICE. I mean, we know that's true too. Although they've been around for 22 years, I guess. So they've got a lot of technology that can basically probably erase this whole show before it's ever on.
Yeah, started by Peter Thiel in San Francisco in the early 2000s. He handpicked Karp, who was his Stanford Law School debate sparring partner. Right. Thiel was apparently the capitalist. Karp was apparently the socialist in their debates.
Right. And did you see also that CIA helped invest in the very beginning?
Really? I didn't know that.
Maureen Dowd's column from
Peter
last year.
Thiel,
really interesting. Yeah.
These guys are like some of the most interesting people to me right now. I don't know. It's not really MAGA. It's more like libertarian political influence. Like Thiel is such a big backer of J.D. Vance and that one Senate candidate down in Arizona, I think. And like how he is shaping the world in his image. And what is his image? Fascinating to me. Well, Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist, according to South Park.
It's the Billionaire Boys Club, but in a different way. The ones who don't want to, they want to play politics, they want to pull the strings, but they don't want to run.
Exactly.
Which makes them more dangerous.
Exactly. These are the new masters of the universe. Exactly. The guys behind the curtain And what are they doing? What are they thinking? No accountability.
Behind the
This
pulpit
is
in the
so
monastery.
depressing. I'm so welcome to the new year. We're being overlorded by guys that don't want to be public facing, but sort of do.
I think Peter Thiel likes attention, but I don't think that's what he's after. I think he's just after power. He wants Western civilization to conquer.
Well, before we get into the Jared Polis of it all, Paul, what was the protest like? I mean, what did you hear and see?
Oh, it was cool. Like I said, about 40 people. I talked to some of the protesters. I talked to the security guy who was pretty chill dude. And then some folks who were just like there shopping because the Christmas market was a block away and they could hear the banging on the drums. That was the point of the protest, was just like make noise to call attention to this. I think a lot of the folks there, we're talking more about Israel and surveillance and less about ICE, which was one thing that caught my eye. But I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll talk about the Polis thing next. But what I thought was interesting was this quote I got from Nels Pine, who was with the Freedom Road Socialist Organization. Totally new to me. Apparently, that's a communist group that's been around for like 40, 50 years. Young guy. Everyone was very young at this protest. And I said, so what do you say to the argument that some of these politicians might make about like Palantir moving here, generating tax revenue for the state? You know, that I think that would be the counter argument for you guys. And he said, I mean, you can make a tremendous amount of money breaking the law. You look where the fortunes come from, where the billionaire fortunes come from. It comes from gun running. It comes from running booze while it was illegal. It comes from stock manipulation. And so for him, Polis is what Nels was talking about, to be an advocate for breaking international human rights law so that they can make more money by making these bombs to sell to illegal governments that are illegitimately occupying land, violating international law, because he personally supports it. It doesn't mean it's legal or moral or just.
Yeah,
I thought that was an interesting insight on the morality of how these protesters feel about this.
Well, there was this letter from Polis posted online last week, I believe by an activist who uncovered it.
An activist investigator is what my impression was.
That's what I saw too.
With the American Friends Service Committee. And I tried to reach out to him, Noam Perry. I'm hoping to hear back from him, but I haven't yet.
So Governor Polis sent a letter to Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir, back in 2020, inviting him to move to Denver. There was a quote that we pulled, which was, Colorado is an optimal location for Palantir, Polis wrote. My team is standing by to assist you with anything you might need.
Well, let's not be naive. You know, there are letters like that going out every week to any company that might think about relocating.
Fair.
And in 2020, when was it in 2020?
June 2020.
Yeah, so I would say in June 2020, Colorado was desperate to get anybody who would move here during COVID.
That's true.
So it does make sense. I read through that and I didn't see anything completely untoward. I mean, you would find those in every file. But that doesn't mean the governor couldn't stand up now and say, I don't agree with these things. I don't agree with these things. These aren't good.
June 1st, 2020 was the date.
Yeah.
What happened a week before that? George Floyd.
Yeah.
George Floyd was killed. 1 week later, Jared Polis signs a letter to Palantir saying, please come to Colorado. We want
massive surveillance.
This is our values. That was the part of the letter that was interesting to me. Polis writes, Colorado shares and embodies Palantir's vision of promoting national security and economic development through innovation. Colorado shares Palantir's vision for national security?
Well, what was Palantir's public vision in June 2020? I mean, we had someone working for him.
It was... what do you mean we had someone?
One of our former writers was an intern for Palantir before he came to Westward. So
really?
We knew a lot of things they were doing, interesting projects they were doing on data. That doesn't mean they aren't doing really bad projects now, too. But a lot of those tech guys out of Silicon Valley were originally trying to do a greater good.
They'd been protested. These protests are not new since they moved to Denver. They've been protested in San Francisco for many, many years.
Right. Sure. I'm just saying.
The reputation was known. It's the same as it was.
In 2020, I'll go back and do some research, but I'm just saying, look at all the other people we've wooed. They're not all great. I mean, we just last week, the economic development area was listening to a defense contractor and said wanted to give them up to $58 million in incentives, a defense contractor. So economic development in a state sometimes isn't pretty.
I will give you this, that Palantir has grown, and since Trump was inaugurated specifically, they've become more entrenched with the U.S. government.
Yeah, and more dangerous.
In 2020, when Biden was
it wasn't
president,
a recognized name, I would say, in Colorado
story.
in 2020.
I mean, I was on top of it. We did a whole episode about it. We'll link to it in the show notes. But
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Well,
I probably wouldn't necessarily.
But I think it's certainly fair to say to the governor now, what do you think about these things?
And that's exactly what I asked him on Friday.
Okay.
And here's the response from Shelby Wyman, spokesperson for Governor Polis. I said, does he still stand by this letter? Specifically these lines that we just talked about. And Shelby writes, Colorado is the best place to live, work, and run a business. We're always open to attracting more companies to move to or start up in Colorado, creating jobs. There are companies in our state that some people like and others don't, and that is their right. Colorado has a highly talented and educated workforce that attracts businesses and employers to our state.
Sure. I think, as Patty pointed out, this is one of many letters that had probably gone out. I mean,
they go out all the time
to enticing business.
This is a non-comment on the
for
material
sure.
of the company's behavior, the contracts with ICE, with Israel.
The specifics
of Palantir itself. This is Governor Polis not wanting to talk about those things.
Yes.
But they at least responded, which is saying something. I mean, when we're hearing also the week with Excel fighting with Polis, I mean, it's been a fascinating week. But watching Palantir move into Cherry Creek, of all places, will be really fun.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, and these activists, they said their strategy, they've been talking to a bunch of local business owners around Cherry Creek, because that's what they did downtown. They flyered businesses. They went and talked to business owners.
All three that existed near them.
On 16th Street Mall, yeah.
Exactly. And Cherry Creek, much more popular. Mm-hmm. And I was like, did you guys talk to the Town Pump Provisions folks? Because they've been getting protests, ever since people found out that the owners are like a little MAGA affiliated. And they were like, no, not yet, but we want to talk to them. We want to do that. So I think I think this is probably going to continue into the new year for months. Like a factor or a feature of the shopping in Cherry Creek North experience will be seeing Palantir out posters and flyers.
And it'll be interesting to see how Cherry Creek reacts to that, because this is different than downtown.
I did talk, one of the people that I talked to, one of the shoppers who'd come over from the Christmas market, I was like, hey, what's up? What do you think about this? And he was like very dismissive of the protesters. He was like, what are there? Just like 40 of them? Who cares?
Well, that doesn't surprise me, but it'll be interesting to maybe like water torture as it keeps going in Cherry Creek.
I think I mean, if I was a protester, I think this is a good strategy. Just making noise, just disrupting the flow of everyday business.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Any predictions or thoughts about Palantir in Colorado in 2026?
It's going to make more money. It's going to have all our data. And they're going to be the focus of more protests, especially as the international world heats up. I don't know what their connections are with Venezuela, but we'll find out. And with ICE. We'll keep hearing more.
I'd love to have a good prediction about Palantir. I mean, I think Patty's right about all those things. But I wonder if I'm Alex Karp, if I'm the CEO, where am I looking for opportunity to grow more? Because I'm not sure. What they say is like they want to only do business with allies of the United States and with the U.S. government. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Venezuela, I guess.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Well, it depends on who our allies are. That's going to be changing all the time, too.
I guess so.
This episode is brought to you by Cozy Earth. What can I say? I love everything that Cozy Earth makes. From their viscose from bamboo sheets to their super soft pajama sets, and of course, the famous bubble cuddle blanket that my family fights over, these folks know their fabrics. And then Cozy Earth goes and tops it all again with their Luxe bath towels. Listen, these go beyond hotel towels, beyond spa towels. These towels are so soft, my 4-year-old was convinced they were actually blankets. Like, he asked me, Mom, is this a blanket or a towel? And I was like, no, it's a towel. He was all matter of fact about it. He's like, Mom, these towels are so cozy. We can't puke on these ones. And I was like, okay. It's because these towels are crafted with a unique blend of cotton and viscose from bamboo using innovative zero-twist technology. Head to CozyEarth.com and use my code CozyDenver for up to 20% off. And if you get a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention you heard about Cozy Earth right here on CityCast Denver. Give the gift of comfort that lasts beyond the holidays and carries into the cozy new year. Okay, let's talk about your mom's house, which is a venue on 13th. that was seized for unpaid taxes last week, $300,000 in unpaid taxes that go all the way back to 2023. And the club has also been subject to multiple wage complaints in the last year. Patty, what did you...
Was it three? I don't think it was 300,000, but...
Nearly.
Okay, I thought it was less, but it doesn't matter. It's seized because they haven't paid taxes to the city of Denver. This is such Bree, you know how many different places this has been. It's a legendary venue back from the Snake Pit days and everything else. So your mom's house, new ownership came in January. There were complaints about the old owner, but not at the level of the new owner. The people who now run the Pearl had sublet space in the basement. They moved out and they've taken over the old Mercury Cafe.
And it was acrimonious when they left
as well. It
was
ugly. I mean, ugly, a lot of personal attacks. And so far, I've heard good things about what's going on with the Pearl at the Mercury. So that's good. They got out alive. And so it's been closed. A lot of things coming up. Jillian Johnson, the majority owner, says she's worked things out with the city and it will be reopened soon. We will believe that when we see it.
Yes. And you are correct, Patty. It was closer to $30,000.
Yeah.
I was wrong there. So $30,000 in unpaid taxes.
But still seized.
Yes.
And her contention is that all of these unpaid taxes were from the previous owner.
And true.
And she didn't know about all this debt that was on the books.
Well, that we don't know, but we do know that some of the debt is from earlier, and the city has acknowledged that because it takes a while to seize. You send all the different warnings. You try to work out a payment plan. So we just hear more and more about what's going on at your mom's house. And it's just such a legendary space for music in town. It's sad if we lose another one.
Yeah, it is. It's it's a very small space, but it's always been, I've seen shows there. I've been to many dance nights there when it was the Snake Pit. It's been many things, beauty bar, many things since. But I'm with you.
And was it Malfunction Junction? That goes way back.
I think it was maybe before. I'm trying to think what it was called even before.
Before you were born.
Yes. Yeah. But, we were talking about this sort of backstage at our award show the other night because, I had some band folks back there. One of the guys was saying that his girlfriend was a bartender there and she wasn't getting paid. I've heard from multiple artists they had not been paid. Again, I don't want to say it's a common practice in the industry, but it's not super unheard of to have these. I've had this moment myself.
It's too common. And in this case, 9 people at least have gone to the Colorado Department of Labor to complain about lost wages. So there's more to it.
Yeah. And I feel like our city auditor is really hot on the lost wages. So this might be something for
them in the new year.
Yeah. Also just for folks that work in venues. This is just one of those spaces where a lot of money is changing hands, not necessarily above
Ownership
the table.
changes hands fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe it could be a good thing ultimately. But I did think also, I was thinking about the Mercury Cafe because those folks, again, like you said, they were inside of the venue working their own sort of nights and things. And when they left, it was not pretty. And they've been pretty successful over at the Merc ever since.
So far, we haven't heard, they've still been open. They've had all the kind of Mercury programming. Yeah. So that's good. That hasn't disappeared.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed reviews.
Have you?
Yeah. But people have sour grapes sometimes, and any change means some
no
people
one
get
is
more
ever
attention.
going to do what Marilyn
exactly.
did.
It's
That's the thing.
It's just rumors and gossip at this point.
Yeah, I think it was such a, all businesses can have this, but it was an institution like space for a lot of different arts communities. I'm thinking about the poetry community that felt like things didn't go really their way, the dance community that's had some struggles, but also I've heard as just a space to go for dance nights and things, it's been fantastic. So,
as we look over the last year, you think about it, the fact that the Mercury closed.
Yeah.
It was early in the year and there was so much noise about who would go in, but we kind of forget what an institution that was. You just don't want to lose a lot more.
Well, and to take over a space like that. We're talking 3 stages, a restaurant, like a dance hall space that is used for huge events. And that's not just some easy thing. It's not just taking over a bar. So I admire anybody that was going to do it.
So more power to him. Good luck. Just live up to the legacy.
That's a tough one. Okay, well, let's talk about...
Wait, did you think this story about your mom's house, does this say anything about the live music scene in Denver right now? Is this a trend? How do you all see this a bigger context? That's what I'm curious about.
I think Bree got it, which is this happens all too often with small venues and large venues. musicians should be sure they demand what they need, but it's all too common. In this case, it really is to the nth degree is what it sounds like.
I would say my husband, Greg, always, the way that he talks about this is when you're a promoter, the person that's putting on the shows, you're a gambler. You're gambling on tickets selling for this. You're taking a gamble on whoever you're booking is going to fill this room and you're going to make that money. So a lot of times the margins can be pretty tight. And if you're an independent venue here, which is very rare these days, most things are either booked and run by Live Nation and AEG or just owned outright by them, which are two of the largest, I think, in the country. If you're a little guy in that space, that gamble that you're taking may be all the money you have. You know what I mean? Like Live Nation and AEG can move money around as much as they want. So, and I just remembered talking with Andy at the Oriental Theater about that, the picking and choosing, because sometimes they have a space open on a calendar and they're waiting for something big. They get something that's, they know it's going to sell about halfway, but they don't want to have an empty space on the calendar, but they also want to book something that's going to make them some money. So not to say that this is your mom's house's situation. I'm just saying it's a gamble no matter what to run a live venue as an independent person. So
what are they known for? What have they been gambling on lately?
Hip hop lately.
Is it hip hop?
They were doing a lot more punk and then because bands would stop coming.
Yeah, it really depends on the promoter as to what's happening in that space. When it was Beauty Bar, it was all DJs. When it was the Snake Pit, it was a lot of DJs, but those were like specific dance nights, like queer nights. They had one called She-Bop way back in the day. But yeah, sometimes it will be a mix. It'll be a mix of we do live. There are, places that do explicitly live Grateful Dead cover bands or Black Box, which does dubstep, drum and bass and stuff like that. So as far as, your mom's house is concerned, I think it was mostly hip hop at this moment. It's been many.
And it's
that's a data point. That's interesting.
Hip hop. Yeah.
I am not sure that's significant. I think that's the group that didn't have anyone else booking them. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to find places for hip hop, so maybe they put up with more.
Denver has a storied history of not liking hip hop clubs and actively working to shut them down.
But I would
talking
not
about the city or the people?
The city.
The city's had issues, but I would not say that's a red herring, I think, in this case, given the complaints that came earlier.
Yeah, it sounds like someone was just mismanaging a venue.
Of the hip hop club.
Yeah, it was just being a mismanaged venue. Bad business weren't paying people.
Well, but why do you not pay people? I mean, if business is going great, you'd love to pay people.
I'm just telling you, you're going down the wrong rabbit hole on this one because there have been complaints about her other businesses.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Well,
what else did she own?
There was a tattoo shop.
Another place where money can be real funky.
Right.
There's a lot of, it's not saying it's under the table, but it's like a ton of independent contractors when you're running a tattoo space. So it's just a different kind of business.
A bar.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to talk to your neighbor Regas about it one day, Paul.
No comment.
He lives near you? Have you seen him lately?
He may live in the general area
now, and
I don't
we're
want
not
to talk about my
comment.
neighbor. You can say it anytime you want.
I'm just saying, as a person that's owned a lot of clubs, that man has seen a lot of versions of Denver and employed a lot of folks.
And he has one that is supposed to open any day, which is just down the street at 11.
Oh yeah, Perea.
Lincoln. Yeah.
Oh, another one?
Yeah.
Looks
Will you ask your neighbor when that's opening?
No, he will not.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't want to talk business with these people. That guy scares me.
I mean, he's a real old Denver. He's a real old Denver guy. I'll give him that. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Look at you.
I just think that's so
me?
funny. We can talk about your moms, but not Rika's. Okay.
I mean, you can. I just don't know anything about him. I just know he's my neighbor.
A lot of things I know are alleged. I would just say that. But again, it's the business itself. It's a gamble, whatever you're working.
We did an almost exit interview with Regas. Michael Roberts did, who'd covered him over, for decades, just a couple months ago. And he wasn't sure if he was going to open this other place. So I would recommend that as a good starting point.
Yeah, he's an interesting and storied guy. I mean, Deadbeat Club is still the club that people talk about. Right. And that club closed 20 years ago. And it was influential for folks in Denver. But yeah, I mean, with the Your Mom's House thing, I think we'll just see in the new year what happens. That space has turned over many times. It may turn over again and become a different kind of club.
I can tell you, she says she's paid some of it. I've got a question into the city's finance department, who we quoted in our story. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Okay, let's talk about some different business. The Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce. There was this big expose in Denver last week over losing roughly half of the staff to a mix of layoffs, resignations, and terminations. And fingers were pointed at President and CEO J.J. Ahmet for his treatment of staffers, particularly women, accusations of a toxic work culture. Patty, I'm sure you have covered the Chamber of Commerce in depth over the last few decades. What struck you about this story?
What struck me about this was some of it was duh. I mean, when you have an association like this, usually people aren't paid as much as they are in private business, which means often women go get those jobs. So that wasn't a huge surprise that it's a big percentage of women, and I've worked with some of them. Also, he had demanded they come back to work 5 days a week because to support downtown. That was an important point leading to the attrition. There's no question the attrition is big. There's no question that it sounds like people did feel they were mistreated by him. I thought a lot of smoke, not as much fire as I would have expected for as much time on that story. But we're going to see. There will be more fallout because the Post has already said someone else should be running it. Let's not forget that Kelly Brough was running it before J.J. Ament. And before Kelly Brough, possibly the most beloved man in Denver, Joe Blake, ran it.
Who's Joe Blake?
Joe Blake was a great guy who was an FBI guy. He helped start Highlands Ranch. Just a really lovely, wonderful man who came in. He also worked for CSU. He passed on a couple of years ago. But if you find people talking about him, they just loved him. Before that, the greater Dick Fleming, if you ever remember his name. I mean, these people will be controversial because they're out, they're boosters, and often they are doing what the city isn't doing, mayors aren't doing. So it's a controversial position. I think we'll hear more, and we'll see where it goes.
We heard one thing from Anonymous, please, in our inbox. I did some work for the Denver Metro Chamber in the Kelly Brough era, and people were pretty miserable then, too. Doesn't excuse J.J. Ament, but might explain that it's a sucky place overall.
Yeah.
And in the story, there was that data point about turnover.
It wasn't just the last
took
year,
over,
right.
It was about 15 people per year leaving, and now it's up to 17 people per year leaving, which is like, yeah, that's an increase. Is it a big increase? 60 total staffers on this organization? I don't...
Yeah.
15 to 17 a year? I would say no. But, you know, it's also during COVID. It's hard to tell where some of these stats go.
Yeah, the return to office stuff was interesting. The other interesting thing that we didn't talk about on the Friday show was the fact that they did a salary audit under J.J. Ament. So that's since 2021. And that's, to me, I mean, I've witnessed a few of those things. I haven't been a part of an organization that did that, but I know that typically comes with like a broader reckoning about what the direction and priorities of an organization are.
Where the money's going.
Sometimes it can lead people to not be so happy or feeling
Right.
appreciated.
Well, they discover
and
there
leave.
was unfairness
Big
before them.
discrepancies.
And some people, other people be thrilled, you know?
I do just want to read a quote, though. There was a quote, Meredith Moon, as of December 2023. Oh, wait. So this is, the chief economist, Meredith Moon, said she was at a holiday party in December 2023, and she rejoined a group of stragglers at the bar, which included JJ, and he looked at her. He said, JJ just told me he doesn't like me. And then he corrected Moon and said he actually didn't care for her. And this is what he allegedly said. But in the same conversation, according to witnesses, Ament told another female staffer, the adults are talking, you can see yourself out. So I think that's the other part of this conversation was...
Don't have holiday parties in your office. Trust me, you would not have wanted to be at the
Don't
Westward
talk to
one.
women like that is also a really...
Yeah, no, Bree, make your point. You were leading to a point.
Well, I mean, I just think that this undercurrent of these kinds of things are so hard to prove, A. They're so hard to get folks to come forward on. I know somebody who's going through this in a very prominent workplace here in Denver right now this has been an ongoing investigation that they've been involved in for a year and a half probably, and even getting the courage to come up and say this about your boss. So again, this is all alleged, but that to me says a lot about maybe the workplace that some of these folks are talking about here, which is not a great place to work.
And I'm serious. Don't have holiday parties in your workplace if you've got problems.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you mix alcohol, you've got different people who have problems or issues. It's not the place to bring them up.
Yeah, alcohol can be a real truth teller for sure. Just, yeah.
Yes, once the cameras aren't going, I'll discuss our office party.
I've been to a few. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting. I feel like Denverite is also still continuing to look into this, but I don't know. I thought about that too. How does the turnover look in terms of other organizations? I don't know.
Trade associations like this,
yeah.
membership organizations.
Sure. Okay. Well,
I heard from people both sides of it after we talked about it on Friday. I think it kind of depends on your own experiences with workplaces like this. And there's definitely like, men are going to read this story and see something, and women are going to read this story and see something else also.
People who've run their own businesses are going to see it in a different way too.
I agree with that.
I had a very similar experience in a workplace, and I walked out of that workplace and never went back. And people witnessed it. What happened? A very similar commentary from the big boss. And
did you? So wait.
So
there was a breaking point, and you stormed out. What did you? Did you say
said
something?
Something to me similar to this, and in front of a bunch of people. And I just always remember my mother said, "If you're not comfortable anywhere, you're allowed to leave anytime." And I was like, "I'm leaving," and I never came back.
Huh.
But again, it's like the battle you want to fight, right? If this happened to this person and they want to speak out about it, that's up to them. I know a lot of folks that just go through life going, I just walked out because it wasn't worth fighting this big, giant, entity.
Because you're not going to win.
Because you're not going to win. Yeah.
And maybe you don't even like the job anyway.
Yeah. Or you loved the job and this is the reason you can't stay. So, okay, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do a different version of wins and fails. We're going to do the big fails of the year. We're back. Biggest fails of 2025 here in Denver. Paul?
We decided for the big award show last week, we were going to give away biggest win, which is great.
Yes.
And we weren't going to do biggest fail. We do wins and fails every week. It just felt like for the award show, wins, nice. Fails, maybe not.
We did give the biggest hater award, which was great.
Yeah.
Who won that?
It was a 4-way tie between Do Better Denver, Lisa Calderon, Paul Lopez, and CityCast Denver regular guest Adrian Felix, who came up and gave a really pretty nice speech.
He gave a great speech.
Really sweet speech.
He said something along the lines of, I'm gay, I'm Latino, and I'm a hater. And then he walked off. He was fantastic.
Well, I can tell you what's on our cover for the year in the review as the biggest fail, which is Jared Polis's bridge.
I'm with you. The bridge...
It just encapsulated so much that can be so crazy in this state.
I had another thought about this because we've talked about it at length, but because I was driving by Civic Center yesterday and I was like, I remember Polis doesn't really, I don't feel that he has an affection for Denver. And he's a Boulder guy. He's always been a Boulder guy. And to me, part of it was like, he doesn't really know us that well to begin with. And I know the bridge would be a representation of something for the state, but the pushback that he got, I think it was very clearly Denver saying, I don't think you know what we want.
Well, and not just Denver. And what I loved about it, besides it was a huge fail, but in one way it really worked well because it united more than 95% of the people who voted.
It really did.
They all in 5 days, they all talked about how much they hated it.
Yes. So a bridge we will never see.
And another part of that fail, and I've talked about this, is at the bottom, the city was smart enough to say, no, you're not bringing this bridge into our park, which is Civic Center Park. But the city wasn't smart enough to postpone the renovation of Civic Center and the whole reorientation of the Greek amphitheater. I think we could have used a little more time to study that one.
Also, I mean, we've talked about this already. It's going to be going on during our big celebration next year. Although it's so apt for Colorado that it's going to be under construction.
Yeah, it's pretty typical with our construction. Yeah. And that's what we have on our cover. We've got the bridge. We've got Polis. We've got a lot of construction zones. We have some ice people. You'll just have to pick it up.
Okay. Sounds good.
The construction in Civic Center, we've talked about before. I'll link to the show notes. We got into this last time.
Yes, we did.
The fact that there's construction in Civic Center means that the Chris Kindle market wasn't able to be there this year.
Yes.
Instead, it's at Auraria campus. You've been publishing quite a bit about that in Westward, Patty.
Oh, the complaints about the parking, and not just complaints about parking. We didn't get into too much of it. People didn't like the way it was set up as much this year. The parking, they did drop the prices. I think the biggest problem with the parking is people weren't familiar with going down to the Auraria campus.
I was going to say half of Auraria campus is parking.
Right. And but even so, there were some nights they didn't know they had to go down and pay $33.
Oh, goodness.
You've got a car full of kids. Now, that was the first big nights on the weekends.
Okay.
But you've got a car full of kids. What are you going to do? So there was some bad will on that. Okay. I just don't think they planned it out well enough. And a lot of people just never even figured out it wasn't going to be downtown. I mean, in Civic Center.
That was the conversation I heard from a lot of folks was like, oh, they must not be doing this year. And I was like, oh, no, actually, it's at Auraria campus. And it was just kind of
and the
like,
Mile High Tree. I don't know if they've clocked visitors. A little hard last week because it was the wind canceled most of that. But and one of our writers who is a professor at UCD was just talking about how impossible it is to park anyway and what a mess it is. And that's a state parking. That's a state facility, all those parking lots.
Do you know why it didn't go back? They didn't just move it back down to Skyline Park downtown?
Well, Skyline Park is under renovation
too.
too.
Like it's under. There's construction going on over there.
What about by the public restrooms and where the screen's going to be on the?
I think they would say
side
too
closer to
much.
15th.
Too much construction, too unknown at this time last year when they had to decide where they were going to put it.
Man.
They didn't know 16th Street was actually going to reopen.
It's been 8 months since it reopened.
It reopened in October. They had to decide.
That's the
last year at this time was when they announced they were going to Tivoli. So they work out a year in advance.
They should just take the buses off 16th during Christmas and just put the market all along.
Well, they're
16th.
redoing Skyline.
That would be. I like that idea, Bree.
Could get people along 16th.
The greatest idea that didn't happen is Lonnie Hansen had proposed doing all of 16th Street for Camp Christmas. He would have done every block. And the partnership didn't do it.
Wow.
They thought it was going to be too expensive, but ultimately, I think that is maybe the only thing that really would have worked well.
That would have been really
drawing
fun.
people down, drawing people the whole length,
and get food and drinks out there during the evening.
Imagine what that would have been like. Imagine what it would have been like walking through it in 70 degrees.
That would have been. Also, they got to have a bunch of. That's true. They have to have a bunch of empty storefronts still. I mean, they're not fully transitioned from this DDDA money stuff, but like maybe put Camp Christmas in there.
That was his plan.
This is a nice idea.
Didn't happen.
Maybe next year.
It's not going to happen next year. I think Lonnie's kind of had it.
I know. I was like, he's been out at Stanley for the last few years.
And it's going great in Stanley, but this was...
they franchised it too. They think they did it in like Houston or Austin.
He took it to Houston last year. He took it to Texas last year, yeah.
I love him.
Good for him.
Good for Lonnie. Big fail
My
for
biggest
the year,
fail?
Paul.
My biggest fail of the year goes to the Denargo Market housing development that had the genius idea to build a giant rhinoceros statue that is about the same scale as the Big Blue Bear downtown and Blucifer, beloved Blucifer out by the airport. But then the fail was the inexplicable choice to not paint it blue. And then also to have this sham naming process where they said they were opening it up to people, but in fact, the names that were the finalists, they were so bland. This was not a real, I don't know.
It was a PR campaign that went bad for you, real. Paul.
Yeah. I really hated it.
Oh, because people voted and you didn't like what won? Like maybe people last week?
What are you implying, Patty?
I'm done.
Okay. But yeah, I thought it was like, how do you not paint it blue? We could have more big blue animals. We could have had a great big blue animal. And so here's what you do. You still have a chance to paint it and you still can rename it. And I have a few proposals. And maybe we just start calling it this because Blucifer's not, it's the real name. It's called Mustang. That's what Luis Jimenez Jr. called it. We call it Blucifer. So I think we could call the big rhino that is not yet blue one of these 5 names.
All right. Give them to us, Paul.
Okay. I'm going to, number 1, Bluzelbub.
Too many. Too much.
Bluzelbub.
That's a mouthword. That's a mouthful, I think.
Good luck spelling it. Okay.
Yes.
I'll spell it for you. But that's a demon name. That's fun. Another one, similar theme. Rhinocerophiles.
Okay.
Rhinocerophiles. That's another. I'm seeing a glimmer of a smile from Patty.
Also a real toughie to spell.
Most of these are pretty hard to spell.
I'm thinking, whoa, thank God this year's almost over. This is not good. Okay.
What?
Can we just go something simple like Bluey?
No, not yet. One more similar theme. So Osiris is the Egyptian god of the dead. Rhinocyrus. Rhinoceros.
I mean, Osiris is also one of Old Dirty Bastard's many monikers. So for my age group, I would say no.
You'd say
no
because
to
of that?
It already belongs to someone.
Oh, okay. This one's for the kids. Everyone loves the Rizzler. What if we called the rhino the other Rizzler?
The other Rizzler.
The other Rizzler.
No one wants to be the other. I mean, I guess that says a lot about how you feel about that sculpture.
And then the last one, rhino's a bit of a hottie hotspot. We've talked about that on the podcast. So
Miriam Moreno's named it Hottie Hotspot. Yes.
Oh,
comedian.
Okay. So we could call it Horny. Horny the Rhino.
Lord. That would be the best one you got so far.
I would say that's the only
like
one you
horny?
got so
You
far.
could spell it.
Okay.
You could say it in a short. It'd be fun to say, and then people outside it who don't know the context would be like, why are these people talking about a horny statue? Okay. All right.
Well, listeners, what do you think?
Are you going to send that off to the Rhino Art District, see what they think about it? Or whoever the DeNargo
the
Market.
DeNargo Market developers.
The DeNargo Market developers.
I would still like to know that poor Jill Hadley Hooper, who designed the original Rhino, who doesn't seem to get any credit for everything she did for that neighborhood, they should name it for her.
For the Rhino Art District,
Yeah.
Rhino?
Jill
Oh,
Hadley
Jill.
Hooper,
Jill.
commemorative rhinoceros.
She was there first. Jill Hadley Hooper.
That's what it says underneath. She was there first. I like it. Okay. So that's your big fail.
That was my fail. The Rhino.
Okay.
Not blue. Sham naming
I'm
process.
just bringing some blue spray paint next time I see you. And now that I know how easy it is to make you happy.
I would be happy with
Okay.
that. I would love to see you spray paint a rhino.
I think
Let's do your car.
My car?
his
Yeah.
Prius.
You want to spray? We should.
Blue.
It would. I should.
You should talk to his wife.
Yeah.
I think
We
they
have been
share
talking
that
about
car.
the Prius is like it's getting up.
Paul did get in an accident outside of DIA. He really
Oh, okay.
banged it up.
Yeah,
Well, let's disguise it.
The gall of this person in this truck to park in this space hours before I backed into it. The gall.
Sounds like Lucifer is on you.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. I don't know. I think Lucifer is my friend.
Okay. I think you should paint your car blue.
I like that idea.
Okay.
I'll see how much it costs. I love that idea, actually.
I guess my fail is just another year where we don't have a late night dining scene to speak of. Denver is absolutely failing in this department. We've been on a free fall since COVID. Trying to find anything open after 8 o'clock to eat anywhere that is not Tacos, Rapidos, or McDonald's feels impossible most days. And I just really hope we get our stuff together next year and we see another 24-hour diner somewhere, please, in the metro area. I beg of you. That's all I want.
Have you tried Gaia Masala Burger?
I don't like Indian food. That's my bad
Oh.
secret.
Well, and of
And there
course,
was that
Little
other
India's
Little
too.
India
on
as
6th.
well.
Yeah.
No, and those are great, but we don't have
Not for
but we don't have a 24-hour anytime, any day of the week. Because like Jerusalem's is open late on the weekend. There's a couple Pho on Federal's open till 3 a.m. on the weekends. It's been great. But like I want a 24-hour greasy spoon. It can have Indian food added as well. Mexican food, Greek food, American style diner food, whatever.
How many days a week is Great Scots open all night now?
I think it's just the weekends.
What's Great Scots?
It's over off of Ice.
Right off 36.
36. It's great. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a Gunther Tooties-ish thing, but it's not like fully a 50s themed diner. And my only complaint there is the LED lighting in there feels like an interrogation room, and I don't want to be in there.
Not unlike this.
Yes, but I'm not dining in here. It's a but
This
also
room that we're in right now?
the Great Scots, I would say the service is always fantastic. McCoy's is over there as well. That's
Right.
open late, but we just don't have that staple Denver diner, Tom's Diner, Breakfast King. That's just the 24 hours serving everybody.
And you know it's 7 days a week. No,
yes,
we don't.
you don't have to question it. So that would be my hope, and that's my fail. Is we just are not, late night eating is still abysmal. Well, Patty, Paul, thanks.
See you next year
See you next year.
in that blue car.
Paul spray painted blue.
I'm going to have to think of a fun name for it. I'm going to look up more demon names.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. Our producers this week were Paul Caroli, Olivia Jewel Love, Zoe Culkin, and Lizzie Goldsmith. We recorded Dude IDK Studios in 5 Points with support from Jacob Rupp and Nick Holmby. Peyton Garcia writes our morning newsletter, Hey Denver. Abby Madigan runs our social media. I'm Bree Davies, your host. Our music is by Los Mocochetes with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren. If you haven't already, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at CityCast Denver. And tell Peter Thiel about us next time you see him. You can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Denver neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. You can sign up for our daily newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. See you next year. Did you know CityCast Denver has a perks program? Every week, we're highlighting some standout deals from our favorite businesses in town to help you support local and save some money. It's a win-win. Here are some highlights from this week. Visit any Topo Designs retail store and mention this ad to receive 20% off your purchase. Some exclusions apply. But you can get this deal through February 1st, 2026. Or saddle up for an intergalactic adventure at the Adultiverse Space Rodeo on January 17th, where you can experience the worlds of Meow Wolf Denver transformed into a 21 and up psychedelic party. Use code GIDDYUP for $4.20 off an Adultiverse ticket. Offer available for redemption now through January 17th, 2026. Or check out Green Door. You can pre-order a curated cannabis box for your next Denver trip. Includes edibles, snacks, and local accessories, ready for pickup. No stress, no lines, just a better trip. Use code DenverPerk for $10 off any experience box. To see a full list of participating businesses, just visit denver.citycast.fm/perks. It's a great way to check out new restaurants, shops, and events in your city without breaking your budget. And I think that rules.